The 2023 NJASCD Dr. Ernest L. Boyer Outstanding Educator Award winner is Alisha Lorenzo. Alisha Lorenzo is an educational consultant who works with school districts across the state to help them address some of the challenges young students face today.
I think it's important to note, I don't come into schools and say, hey, I have a magic wand and I can solve all these problems. I think what's more important right now and more relevant right now is to engage a community-centered approach where the wisdom of educators that are in the field right now doing the work, we tap into the solutions that they've already found. When I started doing this work of integrating education to address the challenges that young people were bringing so they can show up better academically, people would often ask, like, well, why do we need this? Why is this important? Now, on the other side of a pandemic and where we are today, people are asking how. How do we integrate education in such a way that we give young people these tools and give them access to be able to show up in their full selves, right? And limit some of those challenges.
Alisha is focused on serving the needs of not just the whole child, but also the whole educator and all staff members and community members involved.
It's really through her empathy, her experiences, and her expertise that Alisha is able to be a role model and a mentor for students and educators alike.
So when we think about adverse childhood experiences, really, this has the impact of changing young people's brains and the architecture of how brains are developed. And so if we don't address that component, it's very hard to get to the learning part of it. When you think about trauma, when you think about adversity, these are really all just cumulative events of young people feeling like, hey, do I matter? Does my life matter? And when we address for mattering, actually, we start to solve and resolve some of the challenges of adversity that young people face.
She proves continuously to be a champion of many things, but specifically for mental and emotional health.
She's commitment and dedication to wellness and the emotional literacy of all members of the school and community stand as a shining example for all of us to prioritize, as she reminds us what matters.
So pre-pandemic, I would work in schools and people would say, hey, we went through tough things and we pulled ourselves up by our bootstraps and we got through it. And I said, just pause for a second and think about this. This is the first generation that doesn't know a day without school shootings. This is the first generation that doesn't know a day without social media and trying to live in two worlds, right? The real world and this digital world. This is the generation that doesn't know a day without terrorism. Throw in a pandemic on top of that now. And we see that children are facing more and more challenges that we've never faced in regard to isolation and loneliness. So it's a yes, these things have always existed, and it's an and, where they've been exasperated and some things are new, like the impact that technology has had negatively on young people's minds and mental health.
I have known Alisha for many years, and she has truly made a difference in helping to create a more humane nation and education system.
Alisha is an obvious recipient of this award, at least to me. She has influenced countless board members by connecting mental health to the policy they write and their conduct as board members at the board table.
To someone who has set the bar high for all of us and continues to motivate us to take a holistic approach to student success, I say again, congratulations, Alisha. You're an exceptional educator and inspiration to us all.
I think our schools are probably the most important institutions that exist right now to create foundations for young people to feel a sense of belonging, to combat the isolation that young people are feeling in their lives. And I think that, if we can do it a little bit differently, if we can leverage our relationships in such a way where young people feel like they can show up fully in the fullness of their identities and tap into the fullness of their capacities, then we have the potential to tap into the possibility of young people taking charge and leading our world in brand new ways. And I think that anything that we can do to show up for young people, to heal, to grow, to be confident in their contributions and what they offer the world is the best place that we can begin and create a better world.